Today we continue with our class Shabbos Home, right? Where we learn the 39 Melachas. And we start with Sefer Chofetz Chaim. And our topic today is, big topic is the same believing the Hilus, right? And today's topic is believing constructive information. And it says, unlike listening to the Hilus, which is justified, when information is pertinent, believing the Hilus is not permitted regardless of one's purpose. Even if one must inquire about a person with whom he is considered to enter into a relationship, he may not believe as a fact any negative information that has been told about the person. Never may one develop feelings of hatred toward the person on the basis of information heard about him, even though the information was obtained in a permissible manner. Okay, so as we always say, there are two different things. One is to listen to information. In some cases, it is permitted because it's for constructive purpose. What is constructive purpose? It's for shidduch. Yeah, you're asking for references. You ask all of these questions that you're interested in, right? And of course, you must. I inform that person the reason you're asking. Otherwise, you put in, as we said many times, a stumbling block in front of the blind. If they just want to chit chat and they are glad somebody is talking to them, that's a disaster. Of course, as we understand. So, but when we tell this person it is for constructive purpose, I'm asking because of this and that. So that's a different story. Okay, right. But so you're allowed to ask, but believe. You're not allowed to believe. You're allowed to take into consideration, as we said many times. Right. Okay, that's the difference. Listening and believing. Even though, again, we're allowed to listen, but believe we're not allowed. Okay. No problem. Let's see. I'm not sure why it's not loading, but can we have questions? But before class. Okay, no problem. So we start new topic. In chapter 3, and topic is Schar Shabbos, right? Earning on Shabbos. As we said, it's a part of prohibition to write on Shabbos, right? But it's such a big issue, right? I mean, there is so many details. That's what I mean, right? So we said that we're going to discuss in a separate chapter. Okay, Schar Shabbos. As mentioned in the previous chapter, the sages forbade earning in any type of business transaction on Shabbos, because business transaction often lead to writing. One of the things covered by this prohibition is earning compensation for services performed on Shabbos. This aspect of prohibition is known as Schar Shabbos, earning on Shabbos. In addition to the prohibition earning of compensation, the sages decreed that if person receives Shabbos earnings, that is, he was paid after Shabbos for the service performed on Shabbos, it is forbidden for him or anyone else to derive benefit from these earnings. Okay, so let's, it's very interesting introduction, so let's do it again and re-explain. Sages, okay, so our sages forbade earnings of any time business transaction on Shabbos. As we said, even the gifts, in under certain circumstances, gifts it's only is also transaction. As we said last time, even hefker, like if you declare something honorless, it's also a type of transaction. But of course, the classic type of transaction when you buy something, or write from somebody, or you work for somebody, or somebody works for you, and a person is being paid, right? So why? Because especially in olden days, today many things are done electronically, right? So in olden days, you would go. I remember Friday morning, somebody would go to the secretary, and she would give him checks. Of course, everything is sealed in envelopes, and this person would, or the secretary itself would give all of us a paycheck. And you would have to go to bank and deposit check. So, but it was all long time ago. Since then, everything is done electronically. So technically, there is nothing to write, right? And like it's done electronically, automatically. But in olden days, everything they would be handwritten. If somebody wants to give you a check or something, they would have to write it. Okay. So that's why it is transaction. It is earning, working on Shabbos, like for compensation, generally forbidden. But we're going to see many exceptions. What work are forbidden, how a person get paid, etc. Okay, so all of the details to follow. Okay. One of the things covered by this prohibition are the compensation services performed on Shabbos. When somebody worked specifically on Shabbos only, and or a person was paid for Shabbos only, even if he worked other days as well. Okay. So this aspect, this prohibition is known as Har Shabbos, right? And after all, right, a person, let's say he received compensation. So sages actually say that person is not allowed to use this money, right? Him or no one else. So, and we're going to see the same prohibition actually applies to many other things. When another Jew is desecrates Shabbos, so we're not allowed to derive benefit. Like how is it? How does it look to you, right? Somebody is losing their portion in the world to come, and you enjoy from his cooking or from his whatever, right? Absolutely not, right? 1 second, let me take it out. Okay. So. Right, it is forbidden, and it does not say here, but we actually learned that this money is cursed. So meaning all of the Jews who unfortunately still are working on Shabbos, they're going to lose this money, guaranteed, and they're going to be punished. So I always tell them, people who I know that work on Shabbos, it's not, and some people, you would be surprised, they say, yes, you know what happened, my car, transmission, all of this, like, and they very excited, like, how did I know that after they work on Shabbos, this and this happened? I said, and guess what, unfortunately, many times people go back to their evil ways, unfortunately. Not everybody, but many. Continue. So part number 1, so section number 1, scope of the prohibition. It is prohibited to earn money on Shabbos, even though the performance of permitted service. For example, it is prohibited to be a waiter, babysitter, or tutor for compensation on Shabbos. So we're not talking about just, let's put it in the right perspective. We're not talking about forbidden job. We don't say that somebody is, taking care of our garden or something. No. We're talking about person who was using something that is permitted, right? It is permitted to be a waiter. So what is a waiter? Somebody who brings food from the kitchen, puts on a table, and then takes the dirty dishes back. Right, that's the waiter. So I mean, we're all waiters. We just wait on our own family, right? There's nothing forbidden there. Or babysitter. You have children. You play with them. You babysit them. You watch them, right? That's part of babysitter. There is no problem, right? So all of these are permitted activities. But if somebody does it for compensation, and only on Shabbos, it is forbidden. The prohibition of earning wages applies whether one performs the service on behalf of a Jew or a Gentile. Okay. However, it is permitted for a Jew to compensate Gentile after Shabbos for a permissible service that Gentile performed on his behalf on Shabbos. So that's a big difference. So let's try to understand this paragraph because it's a lot of information. So again, the prohibition of earning wages applies whether one performed the service on behalf of a Jew or a Gentile. So if this person who was working and who received the money, right, the salary for his work, doesn't matter, he worked for a Jew or for a Gentile. So meaning as one is not allowed to work, and the second part is one is not allowed to pay. Right? Of course, we're going to see the permissible ways and how to do this in some exceptional situations, but we're talking about now a general idea of the prohibition. Okay, so a Jew cannot work for a Gentile or for a Jew. But if a Gentile work for us on Shabbos, it is permitted to compensate him after Shabbos. Of course, after Shabbos. They did something. And we're going to see also examples. The prohibition applies not only to earning wages, but also to earning rental income and royalties. Thus, one is prohibited of renting any of his possessions, such as apartment, room, or car, exclusively for Shabbos, or from deriving benefit from such income. Okay, that's also very interesting. So again, the prohibition applies not only to earning wages, so a person work, but also earning rental income. So you have a pickup truck, right? And somebody said, "Can I borrow? I know you're not working on Saturday, right? Can I borrow? Can I take it maybe Shabbos morning, Saturday morning? I have to move piano of my sister to your daughter. I don't know." To my niece, anyway, you're not using it. I'm going to fill your gas, and it's only 20 miles, 60 miles. It's not a big deal. Can I do that? So okay, so a Jew might say anyway, I'm not using this pickup truck, so let him use it, right? So that's absolutely forbidden, right? I mean, if absolutely forbidden, right? So we're not allowed to rent our things only on Shabbos. Right, if you let him you use for 3 days, for example, including Shabbat, there is no problem. Or rent an apartment. So you have an apartment, so you're not allowed to rent only on Shabbos. If you rent for 3 days, 2 days, right, there is no problem, right? But of course, we're going to see how is it possible to rent a hotel room. I mean, not the only issue with a hotel room, if you think about it, is only in Israel. Right, in other countries there is no problem because checkout time at 12, 11, 12, that's it, right? So you have to check out, and of course you cannot check out there because it's still Shabbos. So Jews usually pay double. Jews usually pay for 2 nights, even they do not need 2 nights. Some people just leave. For example, they went to Shabbaton. Or they went away for Shabbos only. After the Shabbos over, they go home, right? I mean, not everybody, but let's say if they go into home, so they're not going to stay the second night, but they need to pay for this several hours, 6 hours, 7 hours, 8 hours, whatever, right? Because the checkout is in the morning. But in Israel, that's I'm not sure if in all of the hotels, but in all of the hotels that we stay, there's that Shabbos friendly hotels. They actually allow you to stay until the night. They give you 1 hour after Shabbos, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. We did not know when we first encountered the situation. Anyway, we plan to stay more in the same hotel, but we saw a lot of people came from from other town. It was in the north. And they stay over, right? They did Havdalah, beautiful Havdalah, chit-chat a little, I think maybe ate a little, and went home. Right. So continue. Okay. Right. So continue. So renting these things, our possessions, apartments, rooms, right, exclusively for Shabbos would be forbidden. Okay. The prohibition. But of course, as we said, there are certain exceptions. The prohibition on Shabbos earning covers all forms of compensation, including payment for cash or merchandise, for given debts owned by the worker, and performing work in exchange to work performed on Shabbos. However, it is permitted to compensate someone for the service by guarding something on his behalf. Guarding is not considered compensation, double quotes, since it does not benefit the recipient materially, but merely prevent him from suffering loss. Lot of information, let's try to explain. Again, the prohibition on Shabbos earning cover all four forms of compensation. So it's not only cash or we give some things. I don't know. We pay him with apples. We have apple tree. We give him 5 to 10 to 20 pounds of apples. Right? It's a lot of money, right? As a compensation. So not allowed. And plus, what is the compensation for giving the debt? For example, he owed us a certain amount of money, and we said, okay, that's it. You don't owe us anything, right? Which is very interesting, right? It's also compensation, or performing work in exchange for a work performed on Shabbos, or he did something for us, and we said, you know what? Next time it's snow, I'm going to shovel you snow. Okay. So it's also compensation, right? So, however, it is permitted to compensate someone by for a service by guarding something on his behalf. And as we always say, there is a big difference in Halachah, in Halachah, between earning something and not losing something. So it's not the same, right? So when a person did not make money and he lost money, two absolutely different things. Right, so meaning when you guard something for somebody and person did not lose, it does not mean that he gained anything. Right, he has exactly the same whatever the service was. For example, we can hire somebody. If something did something for us, for example, and we said we're going to guard your apple trees, right? Or we're going to babysit with your baby, right? A person is not like getting anything like materially as compensation, but it would be allowed. Guarding is not considered compensation since it does not benefit the recipient materially, exactly, but merely prevents him from suffering loss. Okay. Continue. Section number 2. Exclusion from these prohibitions, and of course we're going to see like that there are many exclusions and many things. If you plan correctly, if you prepare in advance, so you can do many things on Shabbos. Of course, we're talking about only permitted activities. We're not talking about any melacha that is forbidden on Shabbos. Nobody is still talking about. We're talking about permitted activities. So the topic is schar Shabbos bechaluvalo. So meaning like swallowing or something. In Shabbos earning including with the weekly earnings. Okay, the sages prohibit only the earnings of the compensation specifically for the service provided on Shabbos. It is permitted to receive lump sum compensation for a job that is performed during weekday and Shabbos. The rule is often misunderstood as a meaning that if employee did work on a weekday, he can collect wages for the work that he did on Shabbos, as long as both payments made together. However, that is incorrect. The primary criterion for the permissibility is that the work performed during the week and performed on Shabbos must be part of the single job, for which one payment is given. There must be a firm understanding between the parties that neither of them can renege on the agreement after only part of the work is done. Thus, if the employee backs out midway, he will be liable thus, if the employer backs out midway, he would be liable for entire wage. Only in such a case where the payment for Shabbos is intertwined with the payment for the weekday, the Shabbos earnings are permitted. Let's split it into. Right, it's very long. So let's split it into. Again, so now we're talking when our topic is Shabbos earning, including the weekday. Right, so again, the sages prohibited only the earnings compensation specifically for the service provided on Shabbos. So for one day, we cannot hire anybody. Okay, so it must be, I mean, of course, we're going to see some exception, but the general rule, it should be a Shabbos and other days as well. There are exceptions, we're going to see. It is permitted to receive lump sum compensation for a job that performs during the weekday and Shabbos. So meaning that a person is a waiter and he works for this caterer, I don't know, five days a week, for example, including Shabbos. Shabbos, a lot of jobs. I'm not sure, I mean, in a big city there is no problem, right? Where really people can walk. Maybe it's a little be a longer walk, but maybe I'm just guessing. So he has many choices, and he can hire Jews who live closer to the place where they have event. Also possible. So meaning person would not need to work like 2 hours or something each way. Okay. So meaning what? That the person is going to work on weekdays of these 5 days, including Shabbos. So this boss would say, for example, if you're not going to work all of 5 days, quit. I'm going to pay you. I'm not going to pay you. I need somebody reliable that is going to work all of these days. So it's very interesting. Okay. So continue. It is permissible to receive lump sum compensation for a job. So he's not getting paid for 5 days, right? He's getting paid for a week. A week could be 3 days, 3 working days, or 6 working days, or 7 working days. There is no problem, right? So he's not being paid for 3 days, but he's being paid for a week, meaning one lump sum. Okay. This rule is often misunderstood, and it is true, and most of the people think like this, as we're going to see. The rule is often misunderstood, meaning that the employee did work on a weekday, and he can collect wages for the work did on Shabbos, as long as the main payments are made together. So many people think, so if you worked 3 days, right, 3 days, and then they call you on Shabbos, right, usually on Shabbos you don't have job, but this time you do, so, and you can collect this money, right, which is absolutely wrong. Okay. Right, so if employer pays together for all of the jobs, right, so it is allowed, which is not true. However, that is incorrect. The primary criterion for permissibility is that the work performed during the week is week, and that performed on Shabbos must be part of the single job for which one payment is given. So meaning part of it on during the week and part of it on Shabbos. So then it's going to be permitted. It could be some project, right? Whatever project is. For example, maybe for this example, that somebody had a wedding on Thursday, and they have Sheva brachas, so 7 blessings. So and they use the same caterer. So the same caterer say, yeah, you must work all these days, or I'm not going to pay you. So I need somebody reliable. It's very remote community, or whatever is it, right? If you're not going to show up, I'm not going to pay you, even for the wedding. Right, so that's the agreement. Okay, or opposite is true. If this employer said, "Look, I don't need you," they cancel. Doesn't matter. He has to pay the employee. That means part of the same job. Or in another situation, if job was started before Shabbos, so meaning the waiters would come. They would bring equipment. This the ovens were warming up. Ovens, they would set up the table, chairs, this and that. So technically, when it's big event, they would start preparing, I don't know, like in the afternoon, right? Even if event like 5, not 5, I don't know, like 6, 7 p.m. Let's say they're going to do Kabbalah Shabbos there, and they have going to have Shabbat brachas, let's say, on Shabbos in a special hall. Yeah, these people would need 3-4 hours to set up, to this, to that. Yeah, a lot of things to do. Okay. Right. So in this case, it would be one lump sum, for example. So what people did before Shabbos, and during the Shabbos and after Shabbos. So after Shabbos, somebody have to clean the place, let's say, and plus take these ovens and bring to the catering hall, or to the catering place. All of these dirty dishes, somebody have to collect. Somebody have to take out the garbage, this and that. A million and a half things. Right, so in this case, yes, they are part of the same job. So meaning if a person worked on Friday night and did not show up on, for example, they did all of the preparations, let's say, and did not do anything on a Friday, like when Friday night when Shabbos starts, like who needs them? Like the guy, the boss is not going to pay. Or he did a Friday night and did not come on Shabbos morning because he overslept, and they did not have a person. It was a disaster. Okay, so he's not going to pay. Okay, so that's what it means. The part of the same job. But some people, or many people, unfortunately think that if he worked on Monday and Thursday and Shabbos, so he can get paid. Absolutely not. There must be a firm understanding between the parties that neither of them can renege on agreement, neither of them, nor boss nor employee, right? After only part of the work is done. Thus, if employer backs out in the midway, will be liable for entire wage. Okay, so you told me that I'm going to get paid such and such amount. So and then we came there. We prepare this and that, and guess what? They say they cancel. Okay, they cancel, but pay me. Maybe then this means they come with maybe with inflatable beds or something. I don't know what they do. And they can stay in the hole basically, right? Continue. Only in such a case where the payment for Shabbos is intertwined with the payment for the weekday, the Shabbos earnings are permitted. Okay, so very, very simple. Only if it's part of the same job. Okay, this allowance applies even if most of the work is done on Shabbos, as long as it is included arrangement whereby some work must be done before or after Shabbos. So, and it's very important addition. Clarification. So it need not to be like 50-50 before Shabbos and half of job on Shabbos. No, could be like before Shabbos some preparation, and then they do Friday night, and then Shabbos morning. Usually that's what they do. I mean, if you invite so many people, you're going to feed them only at night, not in the morning. Not a good idea, right? You have to be a good host. Feed them. Continue. According to some poskim, it is permissible to accept payment for the service provided only on Shabbos if the service requires some preparatory work before Shabbos, or if an expense were accrued because of the service performed on Shabbos. The payment for this service done on Shabbos is added to the payment for the preparatory work or the reimbursement for the expenses, and therefore considered to be included with the weekday payment. To illustrate, it is permitted, according to this poskim, for a teacher to accept compensation for tutoring student on Shabbos if the tutoring requires special preparation before Shabbos, or it required to purchase specialized teaching material, and the tutor received the one large payment. Okay, so let's go back and try to understand it. Okay, so again. Okay, so there is some poskim. It's right. I'm not sure what is the percentage wise, but that doesn't matter. So it's very very important poskim. So they actually say that you can collect money for the work on Shabbos if you did some preparatory work before Shabbos. So what does it mean? For example, you had to prepare this chazan, person. Balkore, the person who reads from the Torah. We don't see him any other days during the week, but in order for him to read beautifully from the Sefer Torah, he has to know cantillation, the notes, the tune, this and that, and read without mistakes. Yeah, so he needs a lot of preparation. Of course, depends on his experience, but he has to review 1 time, 2 times, I don't know, 7 times, as many as they need, right? So we pay him for this preparation and for his reading, right? So that's a combination. Or somebody had some expenses; he had to buy something in order to do this job that is needed on Shabbos. Okay. So an example that we gave: a teacher needs to buy some books, or maybe make copies for everybody in a class, right? Something like that. Hands out, no problem. So he's going to be compensated for his reimbursed, I would say, right? Reimbursed for his expenses, and plus paid for his tutoring, right? And it's going to be one lump sum. So we don't count how many copies he made and how much it cost, right? So next section, subsection, hiring someone on Shabbos. Although Shabbos earnings are permitted, if the payment is included in the weekday earnings, it is prohibited to hire someone on Shabbos itself if compensation is stipulated. This pertains even though the compensation will be given together with the weekday earnings. So it's very, very, very important. So one more time. So we cannot hire somebody on Shabbos. So if, as I said before, if you stipulate before Shabbos, it's a little different. Right, I mean, a little different meaning if you have time to prepare for all of the detail, you have time to talk over about all of the details, right? So here, when you hire somebody on Shabbos, it's only on Shabbos it is forbidden, even if this person is working for you, right? He's working for you for 5 days. Right, and you need him to do something like similar work on Shabbos. It is prohibited to hire him, because it's not it is a separate job. What we said in this catering hall when he started before Shabbos and continue on Shabbos and comes back after Shabbos, that's a different story. That's absolutely different story. Right, because it's part of the same job, but here, as we said, it's not. Okay. So even if a person is going to get paid together, one lump sum for the whole week is not allowed. Okay. So of course we're going to see how is it exceptions, right? Exceptional, or I would say maybe it's not except, but the right way of doing things. Okay. Next one, rentals. The rule described above applies also to rentals. It is permissible to rent out one's possession on Shabbos if the rental includes pre or post Shabbos period, and one payment is made for entire period. According to the opinion of the poskim mentioned above, it is permitted to rent out one's property exclusively for Shabbos if some preparatory work is required before Shabbos, or if some expenses are included due to this rental. Okay. So again, before that we said the rentals are forbidden. if it's only on Shabbos. But on the other hand, according to this poskim, if a person incurs expenses, so that's or they had to do something before Shabbos, there is no problem. So the best classic example, of course, is a hotel room, right? In order for you to move into this hotel room, they have to do preparatory work. They have to change the bed sheets. They have to clean the bathroom. Do all of this, give you clean towels. So all of this cleaning was before you moved in. Right, so for sure it was before Shabbat. So basically, they invested invested into this room, into your rental. Right, so when you and then plus after you leave, that they also have to do some work. So it is Shabbos plus right, preparatory or after person leaves. Okay. So that's, in this case, yes, it is allowed. Okay. But again, if when person moves into a hotel room, usually they move in before Shabbos. So of course it's always it's actually a classic example. If you move in on Friday night and then you cancel in the morning, say no, I don't like it, I want to move on. Nobody's going to give you money back, right? So it's understandable, right? Between two parties, that if you're going to renege on a deal, it's the money is gone. Okay. So next one, B, subsection B, voluntary compensation. One is permitted to give a gift to someone who performs service for him on Shabbos. However, it must be clear, both parties, that the gift is not obligatory payment for the service rendered, but voluntary bequest. Right? Thus, the employee may not demand a gift in double quotes, and cannot take offense if the gift is no gift is forthcoming. So of course, we're allowed to give gifts to people who did something to us, or right, or for some other reason. There is no problem. So needless to say, if somebody did some favor for you on Shabbos, right? But are you obligated to give gifts? No. Are these people allowed to demand gifts? Absolutely not. But in some places, I remember seeing the gratitude, right? The gratuity, what they call the tips for a driver. It's like a must. What do you mean? Without, and they have a big basket on exit of from the bus. What do you mean? Don't tip the driver. So it is voluntarily, but they very demanding. That you have to compensate, and some people, that's what they do. These waiters, they work very cheaply. I'm not sure that they work very cheaply, because this caterer makes tons of money. Why they have to work for a low salary? I'm not sure about that. But of course they pretend that they ask you to tip them. Right, that's a different story. But here we're talking about a gift. The voluntary gifts. So meaning, if somebody did something to us on Shabbos, he from on his goodwill, and he's not allowed to expect some compensation. But right? But it's only normal and right things to do to give a person a gift. It could be money gift or things. Right? No problem. Next subsection C. And it says compensation without material benefit. As mentioned above, it is permitted for the employer to compensate worker for Shabbos service by guarding something for him in return. For example, one may compensate a neighbor who babysat one's children on Shabbos by babysitting an equal length of time for that neighbor, either on Shabbos or afterwards. It is even permitted to stipulate that will babysit in return. Right? Again, because of guarding is not material compensation, right? And our sages did not forbid it. So, if as a compensation for the person work, we offered him to guard, be it children or apples in your orchard, right? That does not matter. All right, and even it could be stipulated on Shabbos, right? So, right? So meaning that they babysit without children, and we're going to babysit in return for their children. So just tell us, look, thank you very much. You babysit the whole day, 3 hours, 5 hours, whatever. Any time, whenever you need to go somewhere, we're going to babysit with your children, right? So that's allowed because again, it's garden. Okay, section number 3, earning for performance of the mitzvah. So in general, the mitzvahs were given to us not to make money, right? But service of Hashem, right? But if somebody like went out of his way and now he's losing out or she's losing out, like it's only normal to compensate as a gift. For example, if somebody like Moel, right? Moel, does he charge to do circumcision? He does not charge. He's not allowed to charge on one hand. But this person came before, right? See your baby and see if your baby is okay. So sometimes they can see like in a video conference, right? And then that he performed the circumcision. He did whatever supply, also supply some bandages, whatever he supplied, all of these things. He did supply, and then he came after that to check if baby is correct. So not to give him money, it's like it's not a person is not normal. So you must give him something, a gift. Usually people know how much to give, and that's it. I mean, but if you don't give him, there should be no problem. I mean, right? But if it is a gift, so you can give as much as you want. So he came to you on Shabbos, for example, right? He had to find a place to stay somewhere, right, in the neighborhood that he can walk. For example, he's from different neighborhood, right? So that's. Or he's from different city, so not to compensate it like he came. Okay, you have to compensate for air travel, for car expenses, all the things. Yeah, right. So again, we don't pay for mitzvahs, but it's right to compensate persons. Not to compensate, but give them a gift. Okay. There is a dispute among the poskim whether it is forbidden to earn compensation for performance of service that is mitzvah. Okay. This issue applies, for example, to compensate a cantor who leads the prayers or a person who reads from the Torah on Shabbos or Yom Tov. I mean, this person comes only on Shabbos or Yom Tov to read, period. He finished reading and many times they leave. Now in my shul they do a lot with local people, meaning with the congregants. But before that, they will hire somebody. I mean, there were some times when there is nobody, they would hire the guy. And this guy, a famous guy in my neighborhood, people start at different times, and he can go to 2 different minyan. You understand? So, simple. And another person that I know, he comes in my shul. There is an early Shabbos morning minyan, so he read the Torah there, and then he goes to different shul and reads the Torah for them. Okay, there is no problem, right? But this of course this mitzvah is only on Shabbos. That's it. Okay. But of course, as we said before, if he prepared, so it's a little better, right? So okay. Or again, another mitzvah, blow shofar on Rosh Hashanah. We start blowing shofar, right? In months of Elul. Poskim permit compensation for this type of service, while other forbid. So it's not so simple. But if you right. However, even those who permit state no blessing will be forthcoming from the money earned on Shabbos, even if it is earned through the performance of the mitzvah. right? So it's very, very important that yes, they say you can take it, but there is no blessing. Same as the person who works on Chol Hamoed. Right? We had many videos on working on Chol Hamoed because some people who do not know better, and there is a Chabad rabbi there. It's guaranteed everybody would go to work on Chol Hamoed, like because he would never say, is it allowed to work on Chol Hamoed? Yes, it's allowed. You know how many conditions in order to allow it? Okay, that's I'm planning to learn these conditions after we finish with this book. That's I start reading. It's just mind blowing, right? That book, Rabbi Newworth. That sound. That's right. He was a Chavrusa, I think, of maybe Shlomo Auerbach. That sound. One of the greatest rabbis, contemporary of Moshe Feinstein. Moshe Feinstein was here. They were in Israel. Okay. Right, so he said all of the whole section, very long section about working on laws of Chol Hamoed. I started reading and said I must have this book. Okay, so very interesting. All right, so meaning all of these people who work on Chol Hamoed, they say there's no blessing, and there is no blessing, meaning it's proper to give everything to tzedakah, right? Well, whatever you made. So I mean, the exception, a person just started a job, and like two months ago, so he's not going to come, or he can try. I always advise people to try. Maybe bosses say, I don't know, right? But if you say you normal, you want to almost like 7 working day off after you started like 2 months ago, you normal. The first day you're going to have after 3 months. So stop it. So, but he said, but holidays, okay. We see a religious person, okay, and we're going to give you unpaid days, like for first 2 days and last 2 days. But that's it. Don't push it, Mr. Jew. You understand? So in this case, person has no choice. He has to feed his family. He has to agree to work on Chol Hamoed. But the money is there's no blessing. There is no blessing, and plus this working on Shabbos, there is no blessing. Therefore, it is advisable to arrange that even these earnings are earned together with weekday earnings, right? So meaning only on Shabbos, it's not good. How? Right? For example, the cantor should lead prayers or read from the Torah on a weekday, and the shofar blower should blow during the months of Elul. And that's what we have, that's our tradition, Ashkenazi tradition. So on the first day of Slichas, so we start the first day of Slichas, Shabbos before the week, Shabbos that falls before the week of Rosh Hashanah. But it must be minimum, I think, 3 days or 4 days. I think 3 or 4 days, I don't remember exactly. So if it's less than that, so in this case, we do another week, like plus another week. But so always we start at midnight. Always start at midnight, and at midnight, this the person who is going to lead us in Rosh Hashanah Yom Kippur, there's a special chazan, so he would always come and pray for us, right, with us. So I mean, he would lead us. That's the proper word. So he's going to lead us, and it's like usually in this shul, I think he's the one who blows the shofar. I mean, a poor guy. I mean, he has very strong voice, very, very strong voice. He's been doing for in this shul that I go, it's like tradition. I mean, 30 years. I know, a long. I mean, he looks very young to me, to be there for 20 years. 20, 30 years. I don't know, but okay. So he would do this slichas, and then he would get compensation for the whole services. And in this case, it's proper since shul paying that he would give 10%, like maser, back to shul. That's proper. Is it obligation? Absolutely not. But I think everybody would do. I mean, you want to get hired next time? Go try to to find the place where who need. I mean, there are new places, new minyanim. They need somebody, but who said that you're so talented, you're better than others? However, this is unnecessary according to the opinion mentioned earlier. If the cantor or shofar blower need advanced weekday preparation for their performance, or they incur some expense, for example, buying a shofar, right? Or they need, on Rosh Hashanah, Yom Kippur, totally different prayers, like totally, very totally, right? Especially repetition of Shmona Esrei. Okay, first 3 blessings and last 3 blessings, of course, the same, but all others, like an hour or something for a repetition of Shmona Esrei, right? By Chazan. Okay, so of course he needs to learn new tunes, maybe to refresh the text. Right in his mind, because text is very, very different. Okay, so let me quickly see what time is it. Let's see how long question go. Okay, so let's do a little more. And section number 4, practical application. So first case is babysitting. A babysitter may receive monetary compensation for service performed on Shabbos if either babysitter, number 1, it is arranged in advance that some of the babysitting will also be done before or after Shabbos, and one lump sum will be paid for both periods. Okay, so that's I think the easiest and way to follow, right? So let her come. Of course, it's proper for her to come before Shabbat, unless she's a neighbor. So if the neighbor, that's a different story, right? So she can come even on Shabbos, right? But it would be proper so for her to come on before Shabbos or stay after Shabbos. Let's say parents went somewhere to somebody's house and they're going to stay there and come back only after Havdalah. So yeah, that's not a problem. So she's going to stay after the Shabbos is over, right? Or come before, one of the two. So that's and she's going to get paid one lump sum for the whole thing. Okay, so meaning if she's going to walk away in the middle of Shabbos, she's not going to get paid. Okay, that's the understanding. Number 2. So right. The babysitter provides some diapers, milk or something else involving an expenditure, and payment for the Shabbos service is included with a reimbursement for the expenses, right? So let's say they drop the kid off in a babysitter house, right? So she gave child milk, change diapers, with her diapers, this and that. Her own diapers. So right, feed the child, all of these things. Yeah. So they would do compensation for the food and for services. Alternatively, if the babysitter has a children of her own, one can arrange to babysit an equal length of time for her own the different occasion. Okay, so that's also possible, right? As we said, to do the babysitting instead, and that's what I know many women do. Maybe not on Shabbos, but during the weekday, the one who have husband learning in college, and they working, right? They all have professions because they train themselves from early days, right? That's the life they would want to have. The husband would be a younger man, as we call him, right? So somebody would learn, right? And she would be like a working mother. So and they would work like several days a week, and they would switch. One of them would babysit all other children, and then they circling, right? And then taking turns basically. Very interesting. Next one is tutoring. B is tutoring. A tutor may be compensated for teaching on Shabbos if either he is required to tutor on a weekday as well and is paid one lump sum. So meaning that in order to cover to cover like subject, whatever, right? So he needs 3 days, right? The 3 days to cover. So meaning that if he's not going to prepare our child who needs them, like who needs him, right? To prepare the child for a test or something, right? So he said how many classes, like so many hours. Each class is such length, right? So he said 3 days a week. So he said 3 days a week. No, our child cannot do only. He can do only Monday, Thursday, and Shabbos. Okay, Monday, Thursday, and Shabbos. That's it. So unless he would prepare like complete all of the hours, complete all of the material what he had, like who needs them. You understand? So that's the arrangement. B. Number 2. He prepares for a tutoring before Shabbos, right? Meaning he has to look over. Meaning he's not like me reading from the books. He has to tell from his mind. Okay, so he has to prepare. How many hours he would spend to memorize, and of course make many mistakes, unless he's genius. Okay. Number 3, he incurs an expense for teaching material, and payment for tutoring is lumped with reimbursement, right? He had to make a copy from the book, if it's allowed, not allowed, it's a different story. Maybe it's a bad example. Maybe he prepared his own examples, like exercise or whatever. Give this to this person, ask him questions, 1, 2, 3, and give him like the sheet with the questions. Okay, so it's his preparation. Okay, so he can get paid for one lump sum for preparation and tutoring on Shabbos. One who tutors Torah subject may rely upon the opinion that permits compensation for performance of the mitzvah. Nevertheless, it is advisable to use one of the aforementioned arrangements. Right, it is permitted, but as we said, there is no blessing in the money. So there is no curse in the money, but there is no blessing. So we try to do, as he said, Rabbi said, one of the 3 things. Right, meaning what? Tutor on a weekday, like, and it's part of the same tutoring like program. Prepare or like incur some expenses. So okay, let's do one more. Waiters and cleaning help. A Jewish waiter should not be paid for work done on Shabbos unless his job requires him to do some work before or after Shabbos. Okay, so before Shabbos, as we said, set up, clean. After Shabbos, clean up. Okay. Or he is waiting during the week as well and is paid one lump sum. So meaning it's like as we say, continuous job. And he said that this guy said, unless you like, I'm relying on you. Unless you come, like if you come every day, like I need you for 4 days a week, I'm going to pay. If you miss 1 day, who needs you? I'm not going to pay. So there's some bosses like that. Okay. But that's Jewish pay. I mean, the Jewish pay meaning in order to get, in order to pay a Jew, if he works only on Shabbos. So there is no preparation work. He's local. He can walk to the job. A non-Jewish waiter may be paid after Shabbos for work he does on Shabbos. No problem. I mean, most of the waiters are non-Jews. The same rules apply to domestic cleaning help. Right. Meaning that she came on Shabbos to help the hostess, right? To clean, right? To do all of these things. So yeah, there's no problem. You can pay her after Shabbos. So I think we can stop here. Right, we can stop here. So there are many more examples, and but I don't want to rush. I want to explain each is one of like separately, because all of these things were all of the examples very, very practical. So that's why I love this book. All right. So let me see if you have any questions on what we said. So first question, Rav, if there is a source online where you can rent out your car, so will fueling the car beforehand or cleaning it count as a preparatory work if someone wants to rent it on Shabbos? That's a good question. So again, there is a source online where you can rent out your car. I never heard about this source. I mean, that does not say does not mean anything. Very interesting. But but you have to pay insurance. Somebody have to pay full coverage insurance. I think it would be a lot of money. I think. Right. So why? Otherwise, I would not. I mean, I'm not going to give my car to anyone, but even for money, right? There is okay. So fueling the car beforehand or cleaning it count a preparatory work if someone wants to rent out on Shabbos. That's not such an easy question. I'm not sure. I mean, if a person would clean anyway, right? They clean their car once every week. So now they change the day from Tuesday to Wednesday, to Friday morning, let's say. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if it's preparing for them. It's I don't think so. But okay, not sure. Good question. Okay, so let's see the next question. Rav, do the expenses before Shabbos, in order to make Shabbos earning permissible, have to be spontaneous, or they may be forced beforehand in order to allow these earnings? It's not okay. I think we have to go in the middle of the road. So again, do these expenses before Shabbos in order to make Shabbos earning permissible to have been spontaneous. I mean, or they may be forced beforehand in order to allow these earnings. I mean, it has to be planned. It's not spontaneous and it's not forced. It's planned. Like the best case, the best example, like straightforward example, is this waiter. Right, so he it's part of the job. Start this job before, right? Before Shabbos, right? Because on Shabbos you're not allowed, let's say, plug in this oven into outlet. So that's why they have to come. They have to plug in, and then it takes, I don't know. I'm just making up numbers, right? 2 hours, 2.5 hours to warm up. So I have to be earlier there. Right, because it took you 2 hours to drive to the place. So until you got there, the food is cold. So you have to warm up, right? So okay. So for sure, it's not forced; it's planned. But I mean, if you give me example, maybe it would be easier to see. But so far, right? So far, like this. Okay, so it must be planned. It must be clearly part of the same job. It's not right. Continue. Rav, just to clarify, can a non-Jew waiter be paid after Shabbos for work he does on Shabbos without any pre-Shabbos work nor expenses? To that, yes, yes. That's what we said. Again, I'm going to repeat. Just to clarify, a non-Jewish waiter be paid after Shabbos for work he does on Shabbos, correct, without any pre-Shabbos or post-Shabbos expenses. Expenses or work, right? But usually it's not the case. You usually you have to clean before, clean after. But technically, let's say this caterer said, "I'm going to send you 4 people," right? And he sends you 2, right? And then this local non-Jew, nice guy, college kid, and he asked you 17 times about job, and he said, "Oh, you you want to work today, right? You as a waiter, you say, yeah, in my college, I work in a restaurant. I know how to do this. Okay, so you can hire him. There is no problem. Only on Shabbos because somebody did not come, right? So it's very practical. Okay, or right. Of course, the thing is that we're not allowed to state compensation, right? Meaning we're going to see how is it allowed. When you talk about money, when you talk about compensation, it's already business. So we're not allowed to do business on Shabbos. But if you can imply to this guy that we're going to come into terms, right? Don't worry, I'm going to take care of you, right? So this would be allowed, right? But not how much you're going to pay, right? Okay. In one shul they talking about money, and this rabbi who used to be there, very famous personality, so he called it matzahs. I'm not sure how much is matzah. Matzah maybe $100, but he made this thing maybe how many years? Maybe 40 years ago, 30 years ago, a long time ago. So $100 back then were a lot of money. I don't know, maybe now they call it 1,000, I don't know. But here they call it matzah. But if for the purpose of the mitzvah, so you like in a shul, for example, if it's for the purpose of the mitzvah, you're allowed to talk about money, right? So, for example, somebody wants to buy a liyah, so you're allowed to mention the amount that you're going to pay. There is no problem whatsoever. Of course, you're going to pay after Shabbos, but to promise the shul for misheberach, like you want a blessing for your family, for somebody sick in your family, there is no problem. You can do that. Okay, so continue. I have a question about molit on Shabbos. We didn't get to molit. Okay, is it allowed to heat up chocolate chip cake on the blech, or will the melted chocolate chip become molit? I think so. It's very good, and I need to think about it more, but I think it would be an issue, right? So again, let's read, and I'm going to explain the question. Okay, so the question is question about molit and Shabbos. So molit is something new that did not exist before Shabbos. So meaning the liquid chocolate was not there, right? What was there? Like chocolate chip, right? If it melted because of because of the sun, right? It was like on our table, but the window shades were up, and it melted. There is no problem, right? But for us, to put there next to on a blech, I would say no. It is forbidden. Same, for example, you have a chicken, right? And you take a chicken from refrigerator, and it has some jelly around it, right? So you're not allowed to put on a blech, and you're not allowed to put even next to the blech. Why? Because this jelly is going to melt. Everybody knows, right? And you meaning that you made something that is solid is now liquid, so it's not allowed. But if you put it like on a countertop, on a table, and it's going to melt by itself, there is no problem. So that's the thing. So we cannot do proactive something, but if it is done by itself, there is no problem. The only exception that I would tell you from the top of my head is ice. So it is allowed to put ice in your in your coffee. For example, the coffee is too hot, right? On Shabbos, we do it on Shabbos, and you want to, if you put a few pieces of ice, there is no problem. Or you have a lemonade, right? And you want to put some pieces of ice, there is no problem, right? Because even if the ice is going to melt, you're not going to see it. You're not going to see the difference. It's still water. Okay. So let's do 5 minutes break, and Beezrat Hashem, I'm planning to do a story as well tonight. Right? Let's do 5 minutes break. So today we continue with our book Whatever Now, and we learn about very interesting stories. All of the halachic questions and amazing answers, very unexpected. So we start in the parasha of Mitzvah, and our topic is painting the wrong house, and it's based on verse in Vayikra 14:42, where it says, "And he shall plaster the house." Plaster the house. Of course, we're talking about Mitzvah, but there is a connection, of course. All right, so, and it says, challenge. Reuven Goldman hired a painter. Goldman is a common Jewish name, Ashkenazi. Goldman. Reuven Goldman hired a painter to paint his apartment. Since he planned to leave his house before the painter arrived, he told the painter that he would leave his key in an electric box outside of the door. That's why in Israel, that's what they do. Like, it's unbelievable, right? I mean, in olden days, maybe they have like electric box, right? This circuit breaker, right? And so sometimes there is what is it? The electric meter, and we have a door, right? And he left the key there. Very interesting. Okay. So again, so he said, okay, so I'm leaving. I'm going to leave the key there. Okay. So this electric box is outside of the door. Okay. The painter arrived, let himself finish the job before Reuven returned and left. Okay. That night, Reuven came home and found the apartment looking exactly as it was when he left. He called the painter on the phone and to ask him what happened. Right? What do you mean? Asked the painter. I spent all day painting your apartment. Harsh words were exchanged until they finally realized that the source of their misunderstanding, not only the Reuven left his key in electric box, but so had his neighbor Shimon. The painter arrived and found the key that was presumed was Reuven's. When he saw that he did not open Reuven's door, so he remembered the apartment number, right? He thought that he must gotten the wrong house number. He looked across the hall and saw that was another apartment, also with name Goldman on the door. Is it possible? Yeah, very possible. Another Goldman. Reuven and Shimon had the same last name, right? In parentheses. I mean, it's possible, right? Very common name. The painter saw that the key fit the door, so the walls were in a desperate need of painting job. He presumed that this to be a right apartment. So it's very interesting. I'm not sure. If you ask me, I know a few things about painting, right? Fixing apartments. I'm not sure how can you paint over. Like you have to do plaster job. You have to fix the cracks in one day. It's impossible to do. Right? I'm not sure how people. I mean, maybe it's a rented apartment or something, like just to paint or over everything. I mean, but it's possible. Possible. Okay. But okay, so he let himself in, see the apartment needs repairs, need painting. So he said, okay. So that's I probably wrote down wrong number. Okay, apartment number. I'm sorry about misunderstanding, said the painter, but one of you has to pay me. And plus he incurred some expenses, right? He bought his paint, right? Just following up on the previous class. If Reuven who hired me won't pay because I did not paint his apartment, let Shimon pay for the improvement to his house. His walls were black as coal before I came. I'm not sure how for me that. I mean, in one coat you cannot kill these black walls. Okay. But okay, so maybe he has like, I don't know, maybe oil-based paint, some thick paint, I don't know. Why should I pay? Asked Shimon, right? I never ask you to paint my house, right? Reuven does not want to pay. Why? Because he did not get the job done. Shimon said, I don't want to pay. I never ask anybody to paint my house, like, right? True, my apartment need a paint job, but I cannot afford it. I would have preferred to keep on living as I have lived for years with the dory walls. That's it. I'm fine. You can peel your paint off the walls and take it back for all I care. So, and it is expression in Halachah when somebody did some improvement in your field, right? He planted a tree, and you say, I don't need this tree. I don't want to pay you for a tree, right? I never ask you, so take your tree and go, right? So I mean, in some instances, or he built something, so he said you can say take your bricks, your wood, and just get out, right? I'm not going to pay, but in this case, like, how can he collect his paint, right? Okay, so the question, who is right? The Shulchan Aruch Choshen Hamishpat 375 rules that if a gardener plants someone's field without his knowledge, the field owner must pay either for the gardener's cost or for the increase in value of the field, whichever is less. So, and that's very important rule when somebody comes to our field and start doing something. So, like a person that deserves some compensation. Why he's doing without permission is a different story, right? But it's going to be, the compensation is going to be to his disadvantage, as our sages say. Meaning what? If because whatever he did in our field, the cost originally the field worth 100, right? Now he did something, and now the market price is 150, right? But his expenses were 20, so we pay him 20, right? Right. That's how much we pay him. And otherwise, in the opposite, if he did some improvements to our field, and now it's cost 120, right, because of improvements, but he spent 50, we pay him 20, right, to his disadvantage. However, this is true only if the field owner did not plan to plant the field, right? So, but if he was planted, that's a different story. If he anyway planted to plant it, okay, and he must pay, however much the Beis Din deems the field owner in his position would normally pay for such a job. So, if he would want to do it anyway. And let's say this Beis Din comes and they estimate that this worker did a pretty good job, so they can tell this owner, like, pay him, right? So it's in some sense it is a forced job. So like, who told you that I want to hire you? Maybe I want to hire and other people. Maybe they're cheaper. So nobody that tells to pay the. Like him as the best professional in the field. Nobody tells us. But I did not want to hire him, and he did at night when I was not there. Sometimes he started planting my field, right? So we'll see what Beis Din says. Similarly, to Sefta Baba Mitzvah, chapter 7 states that if the field owner hires a gardener to plant his field, and the gardener accidentally planted a neighbor's field instead, I mean, it's as we understand, it's not like there's the fences and there is a sign. This is this field, this is that field. I mean, he said between this boulder and that tree, and you go 100 steps to this way. I mean, it's very simple to get confused. So a person hired somebody to plant his field, but but this gardener by accident planted his neighbor field instead. The employer need not pay at all, and the neighbor need only pay for the increase of the value of the field or the cost of planting, whichever is less. Right? So we don't say it's anybody's fault, but a person who hired him, of course, he's not going to pay for what the job was not done for which he was hired. Right? And this neighbor, he did not hire him. He did not ask him to do anything. So, but again, we have to pay some compensation. The neighbor does not have to pay the full bill since he did not hire the worker. Rather, he pays for the benefit he received, even though he did not ask for it. Right? Yes, he did not ask for it, but at the end of the day, does he benefit from this or not? So that's our Jewish rationale. Right? So don't that's a famous question. The clown said. You see, I never made this video. I think it's my list, one of my lists. Unfortunately, I have a long list video that I want to make. So that's it's like a short, right? Clowns say, yeah, but I did not ask to be born. Oh, yeah, you did not ask to be born, and it is sure. And now the person think like, yes. Now what are you going to tell me? Right, he would say to his mother, right, you decided to have me, and now I have to struggle, and now you had fun or something, right, and now I have to suffer because of you. You owe me your life, right, suffering. Of course, we tell this little clowness, little clowness, but after the fact, after you get this gift of life, maybe yes, you're right, you never asked for it, and now guess what, you enjoy it. And if somebody is ask you, what do you want to end your life right now, and say, no, absolutely not, I want to live. Oh, so actually you benefit and you love this life, right? Maybe you complain a lot, but that's a different story. You understand? So that's why we know what to answer these clowns and clownesses. Okay, so continue, right? So meaning after the fact, this owners of the field, he benefits, right? So he cannot deny the benefit. Continue. If we would apply this to our case, Reuven, whose house was painted, need not pay the painter, right? Of course. Shimon, whose house was painted, must pay for the benefit he received, even though he did not ask for it. Okay. However, Shimon had two objections, right? According to straight Shulchan Aruch, yes, he would need to pay, but Shimon has two objections, which must be addressed. He challenged the painter to take back his paint, peel the paint off the walls, take it and go. He claims that he never intended to paint the house, right? So meaning that there is no benefit for him paint the house, and was content to continue living with his dirty walls. Secondly, he claims he cannot afford to pay. So that's two different conditions that did not exist in the case of Shulchan Aruch. Again, he said, I'm fine like that. So in case of the field, of course, the more produce a person have, the better for him. Even if he's not going to use the produce, he can sell it. Next piece, uprooting the saplings. The Shulchan Aruch rules that in the case of the mistaken field work, the neighbor who did not ask for the work to tell the worker, I don't want your work. Uproot these saplings. You plant it and go, right? Saplings is baby trees, right? So right, if he planted wheat, he would not be able to take it back, right? But trees, yeah, he can take back, right? Planted and go. The name Nesivat Hamishpat, Be'erim section 2 explains that the challenge is valid only if the saplings can in fact be transported elsewhere. and their value is preserved, right? Meaning that you're not going to damage them. Then the neighbor need not to pay the worker. Meaning, I told you to take these trees and go. However, if the worker accidentally dyed, someone raw wool, dyed meaning like painted, right? Dyed someone's raw wool, thus increasing in value, the owner cannot tell the workers to take the color out of the wool and go, right? Since it is impossible. So now he's, I'm not sure why he would do that, but by mistake. By mistake, he dyed somebody wool. Maybe somebody left like a sack outside of his door, and this person was walking by. That was the arrangement, that somebody would leave the sack of wool and he would come and paint it red or something, right? So he came, and the person, I never asked you, take your red color and give back my wool, right? So of course we know it's impossible. So like Shulchan Aruch is like practical. So if it's possible to implant this sapling somewhere, yeah, there is no problem. But to take the dye from the wool is impossible. He would instead have to pay for his benefit. So paint cannot be taken off the walls and reapplied elsewhere. Okay, so meaning it's impossible after the fact. So again, nobody did something like to steal somebody's money. Like it was innocent mistake. Therefore, this claim of Shimon is invalid. So meaning one that take the paint back and go, invalid. So next section, content to live with dory walls. However, Rima seems to disagree. In section 7, Reuven had the dilapidated house, meaning rundown, I guess, which he left empty, and then left the city. Okay. So dilapidated, like maybe like in a very bad condition, right? Reuven had dilapidated house, which he left empty, and then he left the city. Shimon had lived in the house, unbeknownst to Reuven, and spent money to strengthen the foundation, lest it collapsed, and plaster and painted it. Reuven must pay Shimon for strengthening the house, but he need not pay for the plastering and painting, since he may claim, I did not need it. This okay. So very interesting case. So Rima gives this example. If house would collapse any minute, somebody moved in and he made the stronger foundation, plaster inside. So for a stronger foundation, we can ask owner to pay, but plaster in the house is beautification. He said, I did not need it. Okay, but for strengthening for foundation, for sure, because he benefits. Continue. This would seem to support the position of Shimon in our story, who has claimed, I did not want it to be painted. Right. So meaning strengthening foundation is one thing, but beautification inside is different. Okay. Next piece, I cannot afford it. Right. Next section. What would we do in case of the Gemara, in which a worker planted someone's field without his knowledge, and he demanded payment, but the landowner truly could not afford it? Would we force the field owner to sell part of the field to pay the worker? I mean, yes, he does not have money as a cash, but he has this field. Maybe ask him, make him to sell, I don't know, 20% of the field in order to pay worker, right? That's possible. Okay, possible. So let's see. The Hazanish to Baba Kama 22:6 dismisses this as illogical. The whole premise for forcing him to pay for work he did not request is that to receive benefit. Yet it is to no benefit for him to be forced to sell part of his field in order to plant the rest. Right? That's not what people want. He did not ask for work to be done, and would much prefer to keep the entire field as is. Meaning, right? I don't want to pay. I don't have money. I don't want to pay. Maybe next year my great uncle is going to die. I'm going to get inheritance, and I'm going to do something with the field. Okay. It's nobody business if my field is empty. Okay. If the field owner has an option to tell the worker to uproot his saplings and plant them elsewhere, but does not do so, this proves that he enjoys having them and must sell a part of his field to pay for them. Oh, so if he finds a benefit, yes. And how find the benefit? Meaning he did not say take these saplings and go. However, if the benefit to the field cannot be removed, as I said, like if you planted the wheat, right? However, like you're going to get the seeds back, he cannot force him to sell the parts of the field to pay for it. Okay, this would seem to support the position of Shimon in our story, who claims that he cannot afford the paying job. Thus, even according to the Nesivos Hamishpat, he would not have to pay. It's not a normal. So last section, normal way of life. So as we saw from all of the species, so this amazing book, it's a lucky book when Rabbi Zilberstein said that he looks at all of these past possibilities, whatever we know in Halachah, and how to apply in this specific case. Right. That's what we call a person a posek, who decides a Halachah. Right. A normal way of life. However, Rabbi Zilberstein Shlita distinguished between the two cases, explained that the farmer might want to let his field lie fallow if he cannot afford to plant it. But nobody wants to live in a house with the filthy walls, right? So to have a field not planted, there is no problem. You cannot afford it. But nobody wants to live in a house with a filthy wall. This is not normal way of life. I mean, if a person is sick mentally, it's a different story. But for normal people, it's not a normal way of life. Whether he can afford it or not, he will have to paint the house eventually. Okay. So, at the very least, when the makes shidduchim for his children, he will have to make an impression that he lives in a normal house. Okay, so maybe not for you, but for your shidduchim, and I know like some. And I know a family, they actually invest a lot of money, right? Because the time came for their son to get a shidduch. So they were very concerned how come the in-laws are going to come right to our house. Like we have to be on the top of the line, and they spent I don't know how many tens and tens of thousands of dollars. Invested in the apartment, but I'm not sure. He told them he did not. I'm not sure. Maybe he told them, but he already had somebody in mind. So he did not have to impress anybody, right? Maybe him impress her parents, but that's it. But I mean, I'm not sure if you can impress somebody today. Okay, I mean, if people go to rich people's houses, like, what are you going to impress them with? Right, but at least, right, in order to marry children, yeah, it would be a good reason. Therefore, it seems quite likely that Shimon wants the paying job, but is only looking for excuse not to have to pay. The Chazon Ish notes that the Beis Din must use its best judgment to decide if the field owner truly does or does not want the work, or if perhaps he does not want it, but is only looking for he does want it, right? But only looking for excuse not to pay. And some things it's actually left, and especially in financial cases, as Rambam teaches us, on the decision of a judge. And it says think it will one in the Rambam, maybe a mistake in Hilchas, what? Gzeila ve'aveda? I think Gzeila ve'aveda. So meaning of Gzeila is robber, right? Robber and return of the lost property. So I think it was from there when we said that the judge has this ability, right, to decide based on his based on his knowledge, based on his understanding, who is right, who is not right, even if he does not have any proof. Right, that's what to be judged. Of course, he must be God-fearing person, but he can decide based on this. Especially in this case, when he said, he benefits from it, he likes it, but he said, who needs that? So the judge has to decide. Right. Therefore, we have no choice but to force Shimon to swear that he really does not want paying job. Only then he is exempt from pain. Meaning swear, I'm not sure what kind of swear. I would say the more rabbinical swear. Would they ask him to hold the Sefer Torah? I think not, but maybe yes. Maybe yes, because there is no other way to push the guy. Maybe not a Sefer Torah, but tefillin. To hold it in his hands and swear that he does not want this job and he does not want to benefit from this and stuff like that. Okay, so let me see the time. All right, so that's the story of the week, and let's do a little Hilchas Yichud. Okay, so in Hilchas Yichud, and we go through all of these examples. So section is additional shomer, meaning the second shomer. Okay, and next example, if one of the two shomrim left the premises in the middle of the night. So for a yichud to be allowed, you need two regular shomrim. So in our case, one left in the middle of the night. Okay, if one of two shomrim departed the premise in the middle of the night, leaving the principal without second shomer, there is alone with only single valid shomer. They may not remain there. Meaning during the day there is no problem, but during the night, especially when it's bad hours, as we said, for the shomer, it's not allowed. Either the man or a woman must vacate the premises as soon as they become aware of the new situation, meaning that one of them left. Examples. If one of the three male boarders rooming in a house left the premise in the middle of the night, leaving the woman and whose husband was out of the town, alone in a house with the other two men, they remaining two must immediately leave the house as soon as they become aware of his absence. And right, because the third guy left. Right, these two, of course, I mean, it's your house. Why would she go? Right, they have to go. So I'm not sure. People have to plan before allowing somebody to stay with them. They have to plan the situation. So somebody want to stay over on Shabbos, we say, okay, if you follow my schedule, so what is schedule? So when I go, you go. So right, you cannot stay in my house when my wife is there. Okay, so it's very interesting. Okay, so continue. Since the first man said right, so the first man's disappearance means there is no longer a second shomer. The other two men and a woman are all subject to prohibition of Yichud. Right? So, I mean, they have to go somewhere. And, of course, before agreeing to all of this, you have to talk over all the possible situation. But now they, let's say, they're bored, they're paying money. Yeah, they're paying money, but they have to leave the house, like in the middle of the night. That guy, let's say he went to pick up his parents from airport. right? And he dropped them in a hotel, which is he's going to back only in the morning. Okay, so I mean, and they have to go somewhere. Okay. So again, since the first man's disappearance means that there is no longer a second shomer, and the other two men and the woman are still subject of prohibition of Yichud. However, they are not halachically liable to be inadvertent Yichud that occurs before they awakened. Okay. So if they did not know, so that's a different story. Next one. Similarly, if one of two yeshiva students rooming in a house left the premises in the middle of the night, leaving the woman whose husband is out of the town and her 6-year-old daughter alone in a house with his roommate, the roommate must immediately leave the house as soon as he becomes aware of the changing circumstances. Right, so because his roommate cannot stay in the house because it's during the night. Is a woman and a little girl, so she's not. I mean, one shomer at night is not enough. However, he is not halachically liable for the inadvertent yichud that occurred before awakened. Right, so I mean. He's not obligated to wake up every hour and check if his roommate is there. Right? Continue. Given the halachic complication imposed upon the others, when one leaves them in a state of yichud without the protection of the second shomer, it is questionable if any of the men in a group previously described is permitted to live without first rectifying the yichud situation he is causing, for example, by attending another shomer or seeking another halachic remedy. So, meaning before leaving, he wants to live. It's very good, but he cannot, right? He cannot leave because he will create this difficult situation. What should we do? Right. So next, we're going to stop here. So next section, entering house in the middle of the night when there is only one valid shomer. Okay, so stop here. Let's see if we have. I think I saw we have questions before class. Okay, so we have a new question. A question about on the story. What is if one gives improvement without permission and increases the market value of the place, but for the owners subjectively, it decreases the value. For example, mistaken plant was planted in a place that reserved for something else. The wall is painted in a color the owner really dislike. Is the owner still obligated to pay? Okay, that's a very good question. So again, question about the story. So we saw a story about the painter when he painted the wrong house. When somebody did something for something, we did not ask. But if person is benefited, so we said it's proper to pay. But in this case, this improvement are not needed. Like these improvements are not welcome, and it does not really improve. Right. So that's the story. So again, what if one gives improvements without permission and increase the market value in place? Right. Without permission and increases the market value of the place. But for the owner subjectively, it decreases the value. Right. Right. So an example, for example, I mean, without example, it's hard to understand. The example makes a mistaken plant was planted in a place reserved for something. Right. So yeah, in this case, if you had different plants to do something with the soil, we have to take out and go. Right? That's very simple. Take it out and go. I wanted to plant something else. or painted the wall in colors that we do not like. I mean, I would say it depends. If it was dark blue, for example, blue like a terrible color, very dark, cold color, and you want to paint in a pearl, very light color. So even the color they painted is not good, you don't like, but still you would need to give several coats to hide this color. So I would say maybe as to pay them for a primer, right? That you would pay for a primer like for his material. You understand? For material is cheaper. So as we said, you pay the cheapest price. Anyway, you would need to pay 2 or 3 times in order to hide this very dark color. So I'm just give this example, very practical example. Right, but if not, it was like a normal of white, and you want a greenish color. There is so you would not need his extra color. But in some cases, it's actually beneficial. Even if you don't like the color, you would need to pay at least for a primer. This is cheaper than the paint, of course. Okay, so next question about Rehilus. If Shimon saw Reuben's wife walking into the hotel with a man other than Reuben at night, is Shimon obligated to tell Reuben? So that's a very good question. Again, question about Rehilus. If Shimon saw Reuben's wife walking into a hotel with a man other than Reuben at night, is Shimon allowed / obligated to tell Reuben? So this would depend. It's a very good question. It's not such an easy question. So it would depends if you know Reuben. But if you know Reuben that he's going to do an investigation, he's normal man. He's not going to kill her like on the spot. So we would allow it and maybe even required to tell him. And if you know that he's a person who is going to Beis Din, right? Who is going to do investigation, and he's going to take steps. But if you know that he's such this person not going to do anything, maybe get upset and that's it. So in this case, you're not allowed to tell him. Why? Because now he would sin knowingly. So, right. So right. So it depends on his personality, basically. The answer is depends on his personality. Okay. Because again, we did not see anything. Right. We cannot go by circumstantial evidence. Circumstantial evidence is, in financial cases, yes, but in these other cases, like this case is a capital case, just so we know. Capital case that meaning if something happened between them, they deserve the death sentence. Okay, just so we know. So it's capital case. So we don't take this circumstantial evidence, but only the two witnesses. That's it. But to warn him if she's defiled, yes. If he can do investigation and stuff, or just right. Continue. But in few cases, I was asked this real question. So like other people knew that that woman had an affair. She's a wife of this guy who's like the guy without spine. Basically, he would beg her to stay and ask her forgiveness because she cheated. Right. So in this case, he was not. The people are not allowed to tell him. Right, because now, like if she was defiled, he's not allowed to stay here for 1 second. You understand? So if he would stay with her, so that's a big problem. Okay, so next question. There are hypothetical Yichud situation. What would happen if the husband and wife were living in emergency to the hospital on Shabbos in the middle of the night and leaves behind 6-year-old girl, daughter, and 70-year-old boy guest. That's not allowed. What should be done if no one else is able to watch the road? So take it with you. That's it. There is no problem. Go to take you to the hospital. If they cannot leave it with the neighbors or somebody, right? They have to take you to the hospital. But you're not allowed to leave this 6-year-old girl with a boy. Okay. So next question. Another question about Yichud. If the second shomer left in the middle of the night, is he put in stumbling block in front of the blind and being guilty of the causing other to transgress the prohibition of Yichud? So again, this question. Second shomer is left. So just to remind us, we're going to make a clip out of it. Just to remind us the situation. So in the situation of regular shomer, regular person, in the middle of the night you need 2 shomrim. So if one left in the middle of the night, so meaning now there is a Yichud situation. So the people somebody have to leave, right? So that somebody have to break the situation. So it's this person who left in the middle of the night put a stumbling block for 100%. He has to, like, if he knew that he would need to leave, he would have to make some kind of plans. For example, for his roommate to go somewhere else, to stay with other boys, like rest of the night, or like to go them from the beginning of the night, stay with them, but not in this house, right? So that's the thing. But the better example, if this guy, the second shomer leaves for a week, so what are you going to do? Yeah, it's too many headaches. But he's putting stumbling block in front of the blind for sure. So let's do the questions before the class. Okay. So, and it says, if person inherits a lama ba, of those who don't listen to his warnings, okay. What about non-Jew who does Kiruv, and Jew ignores him? Does now Hashem have to entice / obligate this non-Jew to convert, so that he can pay him accordingly in a lama ba, since a non-Jew's soul simply cannot have the same level of reward as the Jew's tada? Okay, so let's do it again. It's a very interesting question. Person inherits a lama ba of those who don't listen to him, right? So it says if you bring somebody in, another Jew closer to Hashem, he starts absorbing. I think it's 317 worlds. It's gematria. I don't remember which gematria, but there is gematria somewhere. Right? But if it says if he tried and he was not successful, he inherits that person lama ba, because you try to get this person to lama ba. He refused it. Okay, so he refused it, meaning he does not need it. So you can take it, no problem. So now if a non-Jew is trying to do a Kiruv with the Jews, and other people, Jews, do not listen to him, is he getting their lama ba? It's a very good question. It is a very good question. Does he now Hashem and have to entice, obligate to non-Jew to convert to the? No, Hashem does not obligate. He does not need to have to. He can do whatever he wants. Basically, he's not going to entice to obligate anybody, because meaning that person is going to lose his free will, which is foundation of this world, the free will. To non-Jew to convert. I mean, if he wants to convert, he will convert. But sometimes there is a payment and people who did not do teshuva, and they apply, but they do have some good things. Yeah, they come with the good things, and they stay like outside the Gehinnom, and the person goes there forever. Did they help? Did it help them that they have the good things? Not really. And of course, Hashem is going to give it to somebody, maybe to his previous good reincarnation, but that's it. Right? So first, before a person gets reward, he has to get punishment. Punishment comes first before the reward. So, and if punishment is eternal, so you're never going to get reward. So, and in this case, non-Jew would come with all of this reward, and if he did not convert, and that's it. Is the reward there? Yes. It's on his name, 100%. In his bank account, 100%. Can he use it? Absolutely not. Right? It's like you have somebody give you did a wire transfer in some Swiss bank, and he did not tell you which bank, and what was the account number. Okay, so money on your name, 100%. Can you take the money? Absolutely not. So that's a situation like this, I think. Right. But Hashem is not going to entice anybody. So next question. We have a question about shidduch. Okay, since a woman has an obligation to look beautiful for her husband and attract them, okay, when a woman is on shidduch, should she present herself in her most natural, no makeup, nice but casual clothing, due to the woman not always able to look 100 their most dazzling, and then dress up and increase beauty during the marriage? Or should she wear the best clothing, makeup, to make the great first impression? Right. So that's a good question. So let's try to answer again the question about shidduch. Since a woman has the obligation to look beautiful for her husband. Okay. So, but before looking beautiful for her husband, she has to get married, and in order to get married, she has to be attracted, look attractive to this person, like that she's dating, right? To wear without makeup. I mean, she's very young and she's very beautiful, yes, but for all, most likely, yeah, we would recommend for her to wear makeup, whatever, not too much, but nice, and dress up for sure dress up, and not dress up as you would go to somebody's wedding, but very very nicely, classy, of course, and nicely, yes. And then when she get married, so they're going to figure, because the first impression is very important, how you present yourself. And many times when a person made a bad first impression, it's very hard, sometimes impossible, but it's to fix it. And so first impression must be the best. Okay. So continue. Is it permissible to purchase furniture from idolaters, such as dining table? There is no problem whatsoever. I mean, they did not serve idolater, especially if it's new. There is no problem. If it's used, it's not like they were using it for avodah zarah, right? Even they have books on that. Even statues, maybe. There is no problem, right? No problem. Second hand. No problem. New, there is no question about it, but even second hand, there is no problem. Furniture. So next one. Concerning the precedent set for someone eating various foods that require the shachar called blessing. Okay, that the person should think about the potential foods they will consume. In this way, should an ill person say that the blessing on the medicine only once, thinking about all of the medicine that it will take during the day? Okay, so let's do from the beginning. I think there are two different ideas. So again, concerning the president that set forth eating various of foods that require shechakol blessing. So meaning, okay, so let's explain. So while we're in the kitchen, let's say, right, and we have breakfast, and we have omelet, and we have eggs. Eggs and omelet and eggs and the same thing. And you have omelet, and you have a piece of cheese, and you have coffee, right? So you make one blessing on whatever you want, or whatever is main dish for you, right? Let's say omelet or cheese. You like cheese better, don't cheese, no problem. And it's going to cover all of them. So right, but it's only for duration of the breakfast. If you had in mind that like after I finish my coffee, I want to drink some orange juice, and orange juice in your refrigerator, it's covered because you thought about it. It was like let it chill. I want to drink a little later. There's no problem. But to say that that all of this food is covered until the end of the day, I would not count on it, because a person would lose the concentration, like very simply. So it's proper not to make it. Some people like, for example, if it's normal, right? So if a person has a bottle of water, right, and they learn the whole day doing the things in the kitchen or in a dining or whatever, in any room, living room, right, and they drink water from time to time. So there is only one blessing is needed, right? There is no problem. But otherwise, like all other foods, you finish it and that's it. So with this, so that's a general halachah. So next part of the question. In the same way, should the ill person say the blessing on the medicine only once, thinking about all of the medicine that we will take during the day? So about the medicine, we say blessing on the medicine only if it has a good taste, like a syrup or something, or a chewable like pills or something, right? So that's tablets, right? That's would be the different case. But if medicine is tasteless, we don't say blessing, right? If you just swallow things, or a beer, or I don't know, some other not good taste, we don't say blessing, right? I mean, as in the food. I can, but let's say it's syrup. Let's say it's syrup. Okay, can you make one blessing? No, because this bottle of water, it's one continuous drinking, right? But this medicine, once, like let's say a person is sick, he or she has to take medicine every 4 hours, right? Next 4 hours, after 4 hours, you have to say next blessing. If it's tastes good. Okay, so I think we finished with that. So is Zecher lechurban obligatory? How big should it be? Zecher lechurban obligatory. I explain what you mean, because I think you're using different words. Lechurban. So Zecher, like a memory about this destruction of the temple. Okay, so explain. Okay, so next question. We have a question about modesty. Is this type of hat modest for a married woman to cover her hair? 100%. I mean, but not 100%. I mean, if you look at the picture, she has what is it, the hair like under the hat, like seeing hair in front. So I mean, if she can put all of them in a hat, there is a different story, but not in this case. I mean, but the hat, the way I see it from the picture, it's pretty deep, so it has a place, but it has a room to put the hair. Yeah, I'm not sure if it's a good hat. I mean, to walk. I mean, It has a very limited vision. Okay. So next question. Another question about modesty. Is it modest for a woman to work as a customer support or tech support that need to have phone calls or video calls with a client? Phone calls support. I mean, that's not a real problem. Usually, the video support. I had some calls with a video, with a technical, but it was only camera, and what was the vacuum machine, right? And it did not work. I mean, we had it for 2 weeks or something, and something got stuck or whatever. So, and the guy did not believe or something. So he said, I want to see how it's wrong. Like it's a brand new. I said, yeah, it's brand new. We had the receipt, something like that. So he said, turn on the camera, and it was the special software. And he did not see me. I did not see him. He was interested only in this vacuum machine. So there is no problem. You usually in conference call, technical calls, you don't need to see the client face to face. When he's asking you about issue, we need to see it. So we have to find out more. What is the obligation? Okay. So the next one, could I have a question about first impression in a shidduch? First impression. I wonder, should one be very friendly and makes the other party feel comfortable during the shidduch to present their personality? Should one be concerned that if show their personality and be comfortable, but realize they are not compatible with the other party, it would give the wrong impression to the other party that they are interested in? Exactly. I mean, okay, so I said exactly, but let's do it again. Question about the first impression shidduch. I wonder, should one be very friendly? So very friendly is not good. So very friendly, this man, for example, we're talking about women. So this man is like what is it? He's a stranger. Okay, he's a stranger that we're allowed to meet and sit and talk. I mean, it's different kind of stranger, but still, he's a stranger. He should be very friendly, right? So should not be very friendly. I mean, like nice, friendly. Okay, right. We are trying to see. Maybe it's going to work out to build a family. Maybe not. I mean, but have to be nice, but not overly friendly. Makes other party feel comfortable during the shidduch to present their personality. Okay, so right. So not too much, but okay. Should one be concerned that if they show their personality and be comfortable, but realize that they're not compatible with the other party, it would give him wrong impression 100%. So a man would say, yeah, she likes me, she this and that, and nobody likes me until now, and now this one, and she's not so bad, and even though okay, whatever disadvantages she has, but she likes me, and that's where we can build a family because she's very friendly, because of very friendly. Right. That's what friendliness and niceness. It's the best tool, and some people actually misuse it. Right. That's they misuse it. Missionary, that's what they do. They ask you a question, nice, polite. They give you compliments, 100 compliments. Yeah. So have to be very, very careful. So nice, polite, yes, respectful. But it's right. But try to hide like extra friendliness, right? Because per person the guy would not understand what happened. Okay, so next question. I have a question about bracha on the supplements. If we take supplements, there is vitamins under the medical guidance, but the basically health without illness. Should we say bracha if I'm taking it? I think so. right? Just because why would a person take supplements? A person takes supplements because something is amiss. It's not something is not perfect to say the least in the body, right? Just because a person is not laying in bed and he or she functions does not mean they're perfectly healthy. That the inside is everything goes okay, so that's why they need to take some supplements, right? Is it medicine? Not 100%. It's medicine, right? So it's like preventive medicine, whatever you call it. That doesn't matter. Yeah, you would take the blessing, because otherwise, if everything would 100% right, somebody is 17 years old and strong as a bull, like, well, she's a very, very strong, like right? So they don't take supplements. Guess what? They don't. If somebody takes, that means that something is a problem. Thank you, Kodarov. Is a bow on the hat is a problem? Would it be considered attractive attention? I don't think so. No, it's just decoration. No, I mean the same color. I don't think that the bow is a problem. Right. Continue. I thought that this was it is called when they leave a part of around the doorway unpainted to remove to remind the destruction of Beis HaMikdash. Yeah, I mean Zecher LeChurban. That's what I said. I remember of destruction. You know, like it's the whole section. The whole section is Shulchan Aruch, and remember the destruction. One of them, the bride should not put all of the jewelry, and the same as women. So she should not put all of her jewelry. Like today, maybe women have a lot of jewelry, but all day it's not too much, right? And they would break the glass under the chuppah. It's also Zecher LeChurban to remember the destruction. And we had a clip about it, absolutely. And we had another clip, and we said exactly the size. The size is amma by amma. Amma, like amma is an elbow, right? By amma, so it's approximately. Amma is, I mean, what is it? We round up a little, so approximately 2 feet by 2 feet, approximately. Some people say a little less than, but approximately 2 feet by 2 feet. Right. So that's amma by amma. So and it, I mean, apologize. We should not paint the wall, right? When we just enter the house, it should stare you. So like nobody would miss it that something is missing, right? Paint the wall, or if some people have a wallpaper, so let it unfinished. This piece by this size, but Zecher LeChurban, there are many things that we have. We say Zecher LeChurban, right? We say this Tikkun Chatzos, right? At midnight, there is special prayer. People say the Zecher LeChurban, right? So that's right. So I mean, that's a general statement. That's why I did not know how to answer. Okay. No problem. So continue. Next, a question about modesty. What is considered overly casual for a woman or men clothing? Overly casual. So overly casual. I'm talking about men. So maybe some kind of like. Not slacks, like pants, like more like what is that? Like hockey, like something like more like the jeans style. Not the jeans, but something like that. It's too casual. Some people dress like that, right? But some people more yeshivish, like a style or a Jewish Orthodox style. They always dress up. So some people. So what's the difference? The difference is that he's going to wear like maybe a little better quality of pants, jacket and vest, or like a same white short. So on Shabbos, some put a tie, some people don't put tie. That's it. So I'll put tie. I'll put a tie on Shabbos. Not that many people don't, but I would do. I have to show that that's a little different. Okay, but for a woman, I don't know. I don't know how to describe for a woman like casual and modesty. I mean, casual. I guess maybe with some simple definition. So casual is an outfit that she would wash the dishes with, right? In this clothing. But so some of the more modesty, she would not wash her dishes with that. And you understand? She said, no, 1 second. Let me go. Let me change the clothing, and then I go and to start cooking or wash the dishes. But in casual clothing, she can cook and wash the dishes. Maybe like this. Okay. Okay, so continuation on this foods, different foods. Okay, I'm sorry for okay. So just to remind us the question. So the question was if person wants to take medicine all day long, right? If one blessing is suffices, so we say no. Okay, so we need let's say there's some kind of syrup or something. Right, we need different blessings, like say every 3 hours, every 4 hours, every 5 hours, whatever is it. But only if they have a good taste. Okay, so continue with clarification. I'm sorry for confusion. In the past, I asked Wada Rav about taking some physical treatment as to rest the legs, and the question was at the time. The person could recite the blessing over the medicine in such type of medicine, thinking about those types of treatment, painkillers, physical therapies, and vitamins, which tasteless was thinking about. Okay, so two separate things. Okay, if medicine tastes good. So we say blessing is on it as a food, and there is a separate blessing before taking medicine. Those two separate blessings for a medicine to work and for a food, for enjoyment of the food, right? So if we're talking about the blessing for a medicine to work, so on any the worst medicine. The worst medicine you would need to say blessing, right? That's a different story. So it was maybe it was misunderstanding on my part. I thought we're talking about tasteless medicine or good tasting, right? But to ask Hashem for this medicine to work, yeah, you said on any medicine. Okay. So continue. We have a hypothetical question about attraction in shidduch. Okay, I wonder if one feels extreme attraction in shidduch without anything inappropriate. Sorry, I apologize. Without anything inappropriate, should they be extra careful lest this is a trap or yetzer hara and blind them from red flags? That's exactly why we're trying to see on a paper. So if people do not all know each other, you see that the best shidduchim is when they have the same ashkafa. So if they have the same ashkafa, so that's 50% you in, right? Maybe 65, right? You have a good stars if you have a kosher ashkafa. So then you have physical attraction. But people who do not know each other, so they're foreign meaning, just the matchmaker said, 35 years old, and she's story. That's a good match. That's a good match. And she's with this education, she's looking for a professional. He's a professional. Okay, so maybe it's good. So in this case, you have to ask many questions, of course. and then proper not to see each other, not to, even to see the pictures, just to see on the paper, or maybe to see the picture, but pictures, some people have pictures, and because I know that, I say, you serious? It's from 15 years ago. You still have this picture? Yeah, they still have this picture. It's a good picture. Yeah, it's a good picture, but you misrepresent yourself. Many times people don't listen, unfortunately. They think that they can, right? I'm not sure what to think about. But when they feel when they meet this person, and the person look at the picture, look at them, look at the picture, and he said is it your Dora? No, it's me. It's you. Doesn't look. No, it's me. But it was 7 years ago. It was 15 years ago. You understand? So we have to first see if in this case, if we match on the paper, so before meeting each other, because many times he was single for many years, she was single for many years. Now they see each other and they have such a high hopes and standards. Now he sees a woman and she's sitting across the table and she's okay, she's very nice, and all of stupidity that she said, maybe she's going to change because I'm going to show her a few lectures, right, and this and that, and because he likes her physically, so now he's going ready to marry her, or the same with a girl. You understand? That's a big trap. That's a big issue, right? But if they have the same hashkafa and they have physical attraction, that's a difference. That's a big difference. Okay. Of course, you must ask all the other questions, of course, but I'm just saying. So just look at the looks. Dangerous, especially when person was person was alone for a long time, so it's not good. I mean, we cannot trust his or her normal thinking. Okay. Rational thinking. Okay. So let's see, next question. There are questions about modesty in men. I wonder, is it proper for men to wear jeans at home? I mean, there is no problem to wear jeans at home. Of course, if it's not this holes, this bad style. But if he wants to wear jeans at home and he needs to do something, work around the house, there is no problem whatsoever. But I would say jeans, it's more like goyish clothing. So you can get some very comfortable clothing, and that's it. So stretchy, whatever. Now they have so many casual clothing for men, that doesn't have to be jeans. In olden days, there were I don't know, maybe 10 years, 15 years ago, it was jeans, the hockey pants, and and that's it. And then dressy pants. That's it. Three stars. But today they have all this working out pants. Not workout pants, but some in working pants, from uniform. Also very good, very casual, and very durable. Can last you for many years. Right. So soft. Right. But jeans I would not recommend. But technically there is no problem. Okay. Okay, so the shekel blessed was for knowledge, but I get it. No problem. Right, but you see, I can judge based on only the information that I have. That's why I answer in a different way. Okay, no problem. So continue. Is working for a woman in marriage bad for a shalom bias if there is no children yet? If a woman is working to ease the burden of a husband so he can learn more, what is a woman and a man work at the same time? Okay, so again, is working for a woman in a marriage bad for shalom bayis? I mean, but if she's not going to work during the day, and as a person says, she does not have children. Well, what she's going to do at home? Call her girlfriends and I don't know, say Lashon Hara, right? So it's I would say it would proper for her to go to the work. There is no problem. So if a woman is working to ease the burden, husband can learn more. Yes, I want 100%. So now he does not have to get the work with overtime, right? He can work normal hours, right? She works and she works and he works, no problem. What if woman and man work at the same time? I'm not sure what the same time means. Okay, so the same working hours? Okay, no problem. Okay, so continue. Next question. Another question about a wife's obligation. I wonder if the wife should strive to always look her best when with her husband in private. How about when she's a nida? So just because she's a nida, she cannot be unattractive. I mean, if she's in pain and she's not up to the dressing up and right, so that's a different story. That's a different story. So the husband must understand that she's in pain and she's not in the mood and everything, right? I mean, she should just try to look her best for her husband, but don't overkill it. Also, don't overdo it, because when a person does anything, it after some time become repulsive to them, which is an even bigger issue. Okay, especially if a husband decided not to pay attention to her. She's putting so much effort, and he's into his computer, his work, into his phone. That's the problem. So next question. Right question about modesty for women. Is a sweatshirt, hoodie, flip flops, jean skirt considered immodest for a woman because it's overly casual? No, it's not immodest. Okay, from the beginning. Question about modesty, woman. If a sweatshirt, I mean, or hoodie, flip flops, I would say it's a problem. So it's proper for her to have the whole foot covered, right? With the socks, with the stockings. Jean skirt, there's no problem with jean skirt. Considered immodest. No, it's not considered modest. So beside these flip flops, everything, there is no problem whatsoever. Okay, but of course it depends on the community. If people do not walk like that, it's too too stand out. So yeah, so I would say no. But otherwise, there is no problem. Thank you for the generous immense person. There is no problem. Baruch Hashem. So next question. When a married couple planning work schedule, should they both try to work at the same time so that they can spend more time together? 100%. Right? When they should work or at the same time, so that they can have a dinner together or have learning sessions together. Right? Absolutely, 100%. If he's going to take night shifts and she's going to work normal hours, but then he comes home. They see each other exactly 43 minutes or 37 seconds, and she has to run, and he wants to sleep. So what kind of life is it, right? So of course it could be some overlaps, but it should be planned, right? So I think we did all the answer. We did all the questions. Okay, no problem. All right, so we can stop here. So thank you very much for learning with us, and please join us tomorrow. We're going to continue with our kosher kitchen. So thank you very much and good night.